It's real life.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone.
I think we're on. Okay, everybody. This is Nikki Burnett and Gabrielle Grandel, and this is the first Friday of the month. So it's Functional Friday.
Yay. This is our fourth one.
It is our
So
fourth
we're
one.
gonna
Wow.
yeah, we're gonna do this every Friday, every first Friday of the month at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time and 11 o'clock Mountain Time. So
That's
I'm here
right.
in Dallas, Texas, and she is in Colorado.
Yeah, Dallas is home though, but
That's right.
Colorado's home too. I love them both in very different ways. Um, So we've kind of been sort of a little bit of a theme, I think, is when it's kind of been our goal, is talking about gut health, and we've talked about the immune system, and then obviously not obviously, but how they're related, and talking about why they're related, and then what we want to do to help those issues that can come from leaky gut, and then of course what creates leaky gut. So we wanted to talk today about autoimmune disease because it's everywhere. And so I guess we should probably start out with an introduction in case anybody is watching and doesn't know who we are. So I'm Nikki Burnett. I'm a functional nutritionist, and my practice is Taste Life Nutrition here in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. And Gabrielle?
And my name is Gabrielle Grandel, integrative dietitian and functional medicine nutritionist. I also have certifications as a national board and functional medicine certified health coach. And I see people in the office typically when COVID-19 is not wreaking havoc. And that's at Living Well Dallas. And I also see people virtually over the phone and video conferences. And I partner with Nikki with her clients to help her clients out from the mental, emotional standpoint to do the things and do the steps that it takes that she has implemented for them in her program. And she'll tell you a little bit more about her program.
Yeah, I think that the goal is, and it's for both of us, and this is why we work so well together, is because we do very much the same thing, but we have our strengths and what we like to do are a little bit different. And so we can co-manage clients really well that way. And so, when I work with clients, a lot of them are pretty chronic, which is why we're talking about autoimmune conditions. And there's this very holistic approach that we want to take, because we can't just look at diet, which I think we can both agree that we hate the word diet, but we can't look at diet. We have to look at lifestyle factors, all lifestyle factors. So we're looking at stress, and we're looking at sleep, and we're looking at food and exercise, any kind of movement, as well as genetics and family dynamics and labs and all of these things, of course, symptoms and goals. And so all of these things combined to wholly as possible help somebody reach those goals that they've set. So whether it's an autoimmune condition, or if it's weight loss, or blood sugar issues, that kind of thing, it kind of fertility, really kind of goes across the board. But we have to look at the person as an individual. And so when I'm working with clients, similar to Gabrielle, I do see clients in the office until now. I've also seen virtually, and now it's all virtual. Thank you, COVID-19. But that's okay. We can do Zoom, and we can still look at skin and tongue and nails and all of these things. And it works really well. But we work with clients for periods of time. And we work with them as their body changes, and we continue to look at the body as it changes and help them in making those changes. As how many times can I say as the body changes? I don't know. But it's true, because the body's dynamic. And so as long as we're working together and beyond, the body is going to change, and we want to be there to be a part and help in that guidance. I mean, that's really what we are, is we're guides. Because we like data.
Yeah, absolutely. But everyone is the best expert of themselves. It's just where functional medicine really shines is looking at the root of the problem, getting to the root of the problem. And so often that is related to nutrition and lifestyle. that's where the symptoms show up. So we like to dig into all of that and coach people and guide people along to change those habits, or again, put new things in place, put these steps in place so that they can feel good and live their best life and show up the way they want to in the world. And one of the things that's really getting in the way of people showing up in the way they'd like to is these kind of debilitating symptoms that go along with autoimmune disease. And it's just, really on the rise. So we see a lot of, we're seeing a lot of like rheumatoid arthritis and lupus and celiac and multiple sclerosis and, Hashimoto's and type 1 diabetes, all these, and there's more, all of these things are autoimmune conditions. And what the research shows and what we know to be true is that there's very few people that have autoimmune conditions that don't have leaky gut as the root of the problem, or one of the main factors. So we wanted to just take a little bit of time and just kind of briefly cover leaky gut. We've done this in some past videos, but just to touch on it again, what's going on is in our intestines, we have this really strong barrier, kind of like bricks and mortar on a house. And the cells are fused together with these tight junctions. And that's kind of, you can think about that as kind of the mortar. And what's supposed to happen is that we eat our food and we break it down into really small little bitty pieces, and we absorb that through the lining. And that's how we get our nutrition, like our proteins, our vitamins, our minerals, fat, carb, etc. But when that mortar has been broken down, then things can leak across, and there's a very thin layer of immune system tissue right along the lining. And so when things can leak across that weren't originally supposed to do that, they flag the immune system as a foreign invader. And so that might be things like food proteins, it might be bacteria, yeast, various different things. And so the immune system sees that again as a foreign invader. And we'll talk a little bit more about what happens, as a result of that. But Nikki, do you want to share some things that that impact leaky gut and cause those barriers to break down?
Yeah, so much of our lifestyle can impact the gut and create a situation of leaky gut. One of the things when we talk about leaky gut, what we have to understand too and look for is why. Right. So we have to understand, in functional medicine, they have, the functional medicine tree. And so you have the roots, and at the root, you have all of these factors. How were there six of them, 7 of them factors that are root cause, 6. And then you have the tree, and you have all the branches and the leaves. And that's, this is where it's affected, is up here. So these are all, your organ systems and signs and symptoms and that kind of thing. And so we want to look at these root causes, right? The root of the tree, to understand what's going on up in the limbs and the leaves. And so one of those things, leaky gut is essentially a symptom, right? What's caused it? So stress can cause it, like extreme stress, trauma, infection. Anytime I say this, anytime every client that I work with, I always do a stool test. And it's gross and it's and all the things, but I can get so much information from a stool test, because I'm going to tell you that I see infection in 75% of my client base. It's everywhere. And so these infections have the potential of creating leaky gut. And then the infection, we've got leaky gut, and then we have inflammation, and then we have potential autoimmune disease or whatever you might be predisposed to, right? Could be cardiovascular disease. It could be diabetes, which, different factors there. But point is, infection can create a lot of problems, hormonal imbalances, all kinds of things. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little off, but I always have to look for infection, because if we don't address infection, then nothing's going to change, right? So that's the step. Are you wanting to say something?
Well, I'm just going to point out part of why we do that is because people don't have to have traditional, what we think about as gut
Right.
related symptoms like
Right.
gas or bloating or constipation or diarrhea or whatever.
Mhm.
They may have headaches. They may have joint pain. They may have, brain fog and other things. Again, because things are depositing in other areas of the body and creating inflammation. So, you'd be shocked how many people, like you're saying, Nikki, have issues with digestive function or infection overgrowth in their stool test, in their gut, that would have never known it, would have never related it at all.
Yeah, you can think as far as anxiety, depression,
Yep.
fatigue. All of these symptoms could be from an infection, and if you don't grab it, then it's just going to continue to create a problem. Because when infection starts to rise, it means your good bacteria is starting to go down. So this is going to increase or decrease the function of your immune system. It's going to impact your neurotransmitters, right? For your happy neurotransmitters. So lots of things going on in the gut. This is sort of our, it's our core, literally, of everything
Right.
is the gut. So it's really important to address that. But we have, these other factors. If it's, lack of movement, too much sugar, too much alcohol, too much fake food, the hydrogenated fats and oils, and I said sugar already, processed foods, glyphosate, which is Roundup. If you don't already know this, for one, has been proven to be a carcinogen. So just don't use it. Don't use it in your yard. Don't buy food with it on it. I mean, and there are others. There are others, but glyphosate is the one with the spotlight on it right now.
That's in the way you
Let's see.
avoid that is by buying organic and not buying genetically modified food, which is pretty much most everything, not everything, but most of our crops, unfortunately, if they're not organic, have some level of genetic modification or are loaded with these pesticides like glyphosate.
Yeah, you get your corn, wheat, not genetically modified, at least not yet, but it is hybridized, and it's high, super high pesticides, herbicides. Soybean, all genetically modified, 93-4% of it.
98%. Yeah.
Is it 98 now?
Alpha, cotton, right?
Sugar beets.
Canola, sugar
Mhm.
beets. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can actually go to the non-GMO project.org, which is a great nonprofit coalition and you can see the high food crops listed there
yeah,
as well and just learn
yeah.
more about it. But
Yeah.
so leaky gut, so food sensitivities, food intolerances, taking things like NSAIDs, like ibuprofen, Advil, antibiotics. Most of the time it's as a result of multiple antibiotics over people's life, but it could be one round, that knocks everything out of balance. Proton pump inhibitors, birth control
Oh,
pills.
the
You know,
worst.
we're going to actually do a follow-up talk at some point about proton pump
Yeah.
inhibitors and,
Yeah.
that kind of exchange. But yeah, stress, whether it be internal stressors or external stressors, can really affect the body and, and cause this leaky gut, which then leads to the autoimmunity that we're talking about. So when those foreign particles are now allowed to cross over the tight junctions, because the tight junctions have been broken down by all these things that we're just talking about, then they can come across. And if that, like I said, the immune system sees that as a foreign invader, which creates a whole ton of inflammation and et cetera. And if that happens too long, too often, the body, in an effort to help us, will then start attacking, or I guess I shouldn't say attacking, but it'll start creating antibodies against different tissues in the body. And we don't get to choose what it chooses. So the thyroid tissue might look a lot like that gluten particle that came across, that the immune system said, hey, I'm trying to help you out. I'm creating antibodies against this, but now I have too many things floating around. I'm seeing too many things that I don't recognize, and I'm going to just start creating antibodies everywhere. And that's where autoimmune comes from, oftentimes, right?
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I think it's you know, it's an interesting thing. I have probably, and I think probably for both of us, I would say the bulk of my client base is autoimmune and GI. And some, you know, sometimes it's both and sometimes it's not. But I'll tell you, you know, as we kind of move through this and talk about, you know, what we want to do for people with autoimmune conditions, I have a client currently who is an RA client, so rheumatoid arthritis, and she has debilitating pain, and she has been on the biologics. So if you don't know what the biologics are, I think they're all infusion. Are they all infusion?
say again.
Are biologic all infusions? Biologics all infusions?
I don't think they have to be. I think they can be injections as well.
Okay.
But this other kind of class of medications that don't necessarily
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a lot of testing, by the way. But
Great.
anyway.
So biologics, just so everybody knows, is they're immune suppressors, right? So in allopathic medicine, there's the thought that we need to, which I kind of understand where it comes from, right? The immune system is out of whack, it's upregulated, it's attacking tissues, it's doing these things that we don't want it to do. So we have to suppress the immune system so it doesn't continue to create this pain and this inflammation and all of these symptoms. But what it doesn't do is address the root cause. It's really just covering up the symptom. And what else is it doing? Especially in a situation like we are right now, you're suppressing your immune system and you're not going to have the ability to fight off anything else. So if you already have an infection, what's happening? If you have a virus going around, what's going to happen? Talk about being protected. These are the people that truly need to be protected because their immune system is way out of whack now.
Right.
And so, you know, and on top of that, you know, I know for her biologics are $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
A month for
Insane.
these infusions. And then it's all very close right now. They weren't doing her any good. So prednisone, biologics, still in pain, lowered, you know, a not even a lowered immune system, but a compromised immune system. You know, fear for the world that we're living in right now, you know, all of these things that are happening and nothing else was addressed. And so the first thing that we started with was what? We eliminate gluten, we eliminate dairy, we eliminate soy, we eliminate eggs, and we eliminate sugar without even doing supplements for her. And we're still waiting on stool tests to come back because I need to see if she has some kind of infection. But without doing any supplements or anything yet, no, I think we just started. She's a lot better, not 100%. She's a lot better. And she's learning what foods trigger her. What? I mean, yeah. I mean, so on top of, you know, feeling better, she's learning her body. And this is always the goal, is to learn your body.
That's so beautiful because then it really empowers people to take charge and see how much control and power they have over their health. It's not, the answer is not, you know, typically found in a medication or a pill or injection. You know, it's, we have so much ability to heal and to thrive if we can just figure out what it is that our body needs that it's not getting enough of, or what does it have too much of that it doesn't need, and, you know, start taking those steps to unpack that. And just those that are listening, you know, it's not that you always have to avoid eggs, right, for your life or something like that. But we do elimination diets, which may include other factors, but those are some of the top 4 can be inflammatory foods if your gut is compromised, right? If you've already got inflammation, then you might need to remove those things for some period of time. Gluten and dairy being ones that I don't traditionally recommend people bring back because they are so inflammatory. But eggs actually have a lot of, you know, nutrient benefit. It just may be a time period to calm everything down, you know, so this doesn't go on and on and on. But we need to do it for a while. And then we see the power of food is just amazing. That's why in functional medicine, we say food is medicine, because it's the original medicine. It really has so much more benefit and very little side effect, you know, if any, which I don't think traditional medicine can say that. I think traditional medicine shines in acute situations, like if you know, have a wreck, or you break your arm, or you have third-degree burns, or, you know, something like that, you know, they really shine, and we really need that acute care. But we don't need that to be the first line therapy, in our opinion, for these kind of chronic conditions, and autoimmune is one of them.
Right.
So, and then we like to put in, you know, a lot of times people need more supplemental things, whether that be through actual supplements or through food, because they have nutrient deficiencies, because, you know, their gut is compromised, which is where we absorb and metabolize all those nutrients. So sometimes we need to put that in.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, so yeah, to be very clear, you know, with certain clients who are very chronic, in a lot of pain, you know, the goal is not to bring in a bunch of supplements early on. So I'll just kind of give my example with her, and how I have worked with her is we started her on immediately some gut repair products. And it was just a couple of gut repair products. Or things that she might be on the rest of her life, which is okay, right? If we can keep the pain down and keep her gut in a good place, then it's worth it. You know, that might just be one of her lifelong supplements. But
it's way cheaper than the biologics too. It's not $10,000.
Man, anyway. So much. Oh yeah, thank you. So we all, you know, I think I wanted to say that we did take a lot of stuff out. You know, we took out nightshades, we took out, which are tomatoes and peppers and eggplants and potatoes. What am I missing? That's it. Yeah,
for the most
essentially. Part. Yeah. And so those things can trigger, for some people, they can trigger a flare. They're healthy for some and maybe not so much for others. But exactly what Gabrielle said is we want to take out everything early on that could be a problem and that might flare her, and get her super clean and as balanced as we can. Then we start getting labs back. We understand, you know, is there an infection that needs to be addressed? And what is interesting about her too, what triggered her, what we're pretty certain triggered her, is she contracted Epstein-Barr from her daughter. So as soon as she was diagnosed with Epstein-Barr, she was then diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. So interesting how these things can trigger. Viruses can trigger autoimmune disease. Bacteria can trigger autoimmune disease. And so she's just kind of been spinning out of control a little bit since then. And so anyway, so, you know, we get labs back. And then once we have labs back, we have a better understanding of what it is exactly that we need to do and how we need to do it. And then in a few months, 2 months, 3 months, kind of depends on how she's feeling. We both base everything on the client and how they're doing. Then we start to say, okay, what food are you missing? What do we want to try to bring in? It will never be gluten or dairy, but what do we want to try and see if you're going to be okay with it? And, you know, it's a slow, you know, methodical process, but it works.
Yeah, it's not meant to be this restrictive food plan that you can't, that's not sustainable. It's just meant to calm everything down. And then, like Nikki said, then we slowly reintroduce these foods that are otherwise healthful foods. They just might not have been in that duration of time, but we can slowly introduce them, because then that allows for more good, friendly bacteria to live and thrive, and, you know, feed them with all these fiber-rich foods, vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, beans, etc. And then the other foods that bring other nutrients, you know, to the table. So we don't want anybody to be, you know, confused that you have to live this like rigid, restrictive life. That's not our goal in any capacity. It's just to get to the root of why you're having this inflammation, you know, and unlock that, and then do the work that needs to be done. And then, you know, and then we introduce things back in as you tolerate them. So, so that's a little bit, I think, about autoimmune and leaky gut.
Autoimmune disease. Yeah.
It can totally be avoided, and it can totally be reversed. And that has everything to do with what you put in your mouth and what you put around you. And I just want to point out, a lot of people, or traditional medicine, or just people in general, are thinking that if we put, let's say, a pill or an injection, if we put something in our body like a medication, that's going to, make a lot of difference. Why are we then also discounting what else we put in our mouth and in our body, which is nutrition and water and air and all these things? Of course, they play a role, right? So,
right.
Yeah. So if you want to work with us, we'd love to work with you. I do free 20-minute phone consultations to see if it's a good fit. You can reach me at 972-930-0260. You can also email me at Gabrielle, it's GABRIELLE, at Living Well Dallas, and the website is livingwelldallas.com. I'm also on social media on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram under Gabrielle Grandel, and I'd love to have the opportunity to serve you and partner with you and help you live a happy, healthy life.
Yeah, perfect. Same. I don't know if I have to say anything else except
where to find you.
You can find me. Yeah. So Taste Life Nutrition. Taste Life. You can only see the taste, but you can find me on all of the social media. My website's tastelifenutrition.com. My direct number is 303-929-8926. It's all on the website. We do this regularly. I have another Facebook Live that I do weekly, different but fun. So it's Real Raw Health with another friend of mine, where we talk about dog nutrition. And we do a lot of human nutrition as well, because they kind of go hand in hand. But we really are trying to promote real food for our animals, real raw food for our animals, because that's what they deserve. They are our family. Kibble is deadly. I'm just going to say it. It is. There's no other way around it. Kibble is deadly. We want to keep our kiddos around as long as we can. So,
like McDonald's of dog food, right?
What?
It's like the McDonald's of dog food.
Oh man,
or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So the cool thing, Gabrielle has a hamburger from McDonald's. It's how long have you had it now?
October 2016.
So gross.
Yeah,
and it looks
4 years old.
Yeah.
Looks the same.
So bad.
Looks the same.
And kibble will do the same. Kibble will do the same thing. This is not food. If it doesn't degrade, it's not food. So, yeah, I also do free consultations. We both just want to get out there and do the best that we can to help those. If you're working with me, you'll also work with Gabrielle for a bit. And we just have fun. Oh, I have a radio show too. I feel like I should put that out there, because I do. Yeah, Gabrielle, I need to get you on that actually.
Yes.
So radio show is just called Taste Life Radio. It's on KUHS Denver. So it's a live stream internet radio. It's fun. It's good stuff. So we'll get you on that as well. And have some fun.
Everybody listen to those things. And the more the information that you can get about how to live a life that you enjoy and how you can better show up in the world and help out your friends and family, whether they be furry or not, is a good thing. So thanks everybody for joining. And if you have any topics or any questions that you want us to answer, please feel free to reach out. We can't see you, unfortunately, on the Zoom that we're doing, but you can reach out to us personally, and we'd be happy to implement those things and help you out. So have a good rest of your day.
Very good. Thanks everybody. Take care.
Bye.